In these peoples, a nation that came out of the house of Japheth became the white race upon this side of flood. Now, now, Japheth, so this is where I'm bringing you to. Without the birth of Jesus Christ, and in him dying upon the cross as a sacrifice, this peoples out of the house of Japheth had no covenant with God. They would have no covenant without the birth of Jesus Christ. And in him dying upon the cross as a sacrifice, this peoples had no salvation with Jesus Christ because became the salvation for this people, giving them a bridge back into the complete seed and the pedigree of both Adam and Eve. From the mill, blessing them from top to bottom, placing them in the book of life through the blood of Jesus Christ. This is how they would come. I explained to you how these hymns would be. Though through a due process of time, God's called Sarah Abraham's wife to go barren. This was to allow God to speak unto us beyond common wisdom. This was to allow the birth of Abraham, and the niece of Abraham. In other words, this was allowed the birth of Isaac through Abraham, and the niece of Abraham's who had marriage to go, who had married, who was Terah, who had married his niece, who came from the brother who had died before Terah. Nahor had allowed Nahor to go up to the north by the Euphrates and the Tigris River and interbreed with these peoples out of the house of Japheth. And once they were married and went up there, eighth son, who was Bethel, taken him a wife and created the bridge part of there. Now, Bethel, as he had taken a wife out of the house, out of the married one of these, he was the eighth son, and Sarah had to go barren until he take one of these daughters, who was the daughter out of the Anthropal people, who was part white, who migrated down by the Euphrates River and the Tigris River, where it was a plenty fertile ground there, where they put their cow in, and they was able to raise so much stuff. And they was smart people. They created implements, tractors, and I mean not tractors, but things to harvest food and to grow food. And they became a people of greatness because they created weapons. And at the same time, these peoples became attracted to the black race who God had put dominion over earth. And that's the reason these Assyrians became fascinated in their weapons that they made, because the Assyrian Empire was a man of war. They was a people who was seeking dominance. They out of the king's sons of Ham. And done so, they created this mystery Babylon for them, because this was a part that Nimrod the Great, who migrated there, had created all these things out of Ham. And in done so, these people became interbreeding with the seed of Ham, the Assyrians. What God spoke of in Isaiah the prophet said they had been, did these things, and these people became fascinated with it. And in doing so, Alexander the Great was the brother of these peoples. So they came down and they became interbreeding with it. That's when God told Abraham he had to wait until the the Amorites, Hivites, and Hittites had been gone to a poor, and he was going to take the land and give this to them. So because they hadn't interbreeded with these people, and these people was not in the book of life, and they was not at the face of the living God. God was not looking on them as a salvation or redemption. So as these peoples kept interbreeding with them, God caused Abraham's seed to go into Egypt and serve them 430 years. In a due process of time, when the Hivites, the Amorites, and all of these kept interbreeding with these peoples and started serving their God, who they came from the fallen angels, Zeus, or whatever you want to call them, only thing they did, they studied war. But God foretold them through the prophets of Isaiah, said they would go up on the brink of the earth. They was led by the demonic spirits of the earth and not the Spirit of God. They studied war, and the spirit which was beneath the earth, which we have called Satan, whom God warned Cain about from the foundation of the earth, he had no wings to fly. He was a demonic spirit because he was a part of the spirit of these beasts that comes up out of the earth. The lion, all of these. And doing so, he had to take on the mindset of the man, create him a habitat like of the man, that he could survive up on the brink of the earth in this habitat, and use the mindset of the man in the infrastructure of his knowledge through these colleges and everything, as he dwelled among them, preaching the word of hate. He would go upon the brink of the earth in the spirit of this man by creating him a space shuttle and a space station. He would go upon the brink of this earth, and he would destroy everything about God down here on the earth. He would create laboratories. He would create him a vial, and he would put it in the North Pole and in the South Pole where it could keep frozen. There are frozen embryos of every plant and every animal or whatever he can salvage in these things. And he will get up on the brink of this earth, and he will use his nuclear weapon from the creation of the manufacture of the CERN, the thing he created from the earth, which God spoke of, talking about the dragon. And he will use these things to try to exterminate everything about God. Scientists, laboratory, caldron, he would have placed up on the brink of this earth. He would bring drugs to the neighborhood. Cocaine. He'd be the ruler and the dominant power on the earth through his knowledge and technology of higher education. Using the will of the peoples and the knowledge of the peoples against themselves. He will sit upon the brink of the earth and shoot his nuclear weapons all across the earth as Mystery Babylon. And she would come in to remember. She was the peoples of the Chaldees of the white race who came out of the north. He would destroy every man, woman, and child upon this. He would try to empty this earth until his day of judgment.